Thanks to Hotclickmarketing for supporting this video. For more information, go to their website. So the match day vlog is back tonight. Thanks to everybody who sent me goodwill messages towards my dad, who's feeling a bit better, though he's now of course in a care home where I no longer have access to seeing him on a daily basis, but I passed on your messages of support and I appreciate them. As far as tonight's game is concerned, against Bournemouth, on paper it's a straightforward game, the curtain raiser if you like to Saturday's FA Cup semi-final, but coming so soon after the CAS decision to exonerate City from the UEFA charges and restore position in the Champions League next season, it would have been, in front of a crowd particularly, a very emotional game for the fans tonight. But I've been talking to fans, as you can imagine, and one or two ex-players, and you'll hear a little bit from Pep Guardiola. We'll start with Shaun Goater, former City striker, on his reaction to the decision of CAS to overturn that UEFA ban.
This is brilliant news for City. In terms of moving forward, it basically means that City can now have a chair at the big table, you know, and it isn't sort of that table that's the old guard, if you like, you know, Juventus, Real Madrid, United, these teams. So City's there, and City's here to stay now, and this is brilliant news. And everyone connected with City, but outside of City, you know, aspiring clubs like Sheffield United, you know, these clubs Wolves can also be excited about this news.
I know how passionate you are about City. You're nearly as passionate as me, and you must have loved watching Pep saying how much you loved City at the press conference yesterday.
I love this club. Because I know the people here are working for a long time. We have our history. I don't know, it's better or what, it doesn't matter. It's our history. I love it. When the club was in Main Road or was with our heroes like Colin Bell or Mike Summerby, all the people who have done, the legend that we had with Joe Hart after last years, we have done our best to be able to do it on the pitch. What we have done this club in the last decade, it was what happened, it was on the pitch.
Listen, Pep being able to come out and inside, internally, you know, he's absolutely beaming. He's loving the fact that, you know, the club has been cleared and can move forward. And it was beautiful to watch, you know, to see him be so happy about this. And, you know, at the same time, he just wants to concentrate and focus on the team, you know, playing football and winning trophies and playing well.
I suspect tonight's team selection might be with the FA Cup semi-final in mind. You expect the team that played last weekend to maybe make the bulk of what the team is against Arsenal, and tonight to look a little bit different.
Well, there's no better way to go into the next game, whether it's semi-final or final, than to win your current game. So whilst a lot of people may think, yes, you know, rest players for that game, I think the best rest is actually playing and winning. And that will certainly have the boys motivated for the next round of the FA.
Whenever you have been accused of doing something, especially on this scale at the moment where they're deemed as cheats, it will stick with them for quite a while, in my opinion. Even though they've been found not guilty, you still see the likes of Mourinho and Klopp saying it's a terrible decision. You know, it's like being charged with murder and being acquitted, but people are still moaning about it. And unfortunately, that will still stick with you. If you were going for a job, this would still hinder your chances of getting the job because of what you've been accused with. And I think it will stick with Manchester City, regardless of how many trophies they win after this. People will always use the CAS and the cheats, as they've been called, will still linger with them. But they've done what they've had to do, and for me, once it's gone and they have been let go with the ban and stopped, I think everyone should move forward now and start moaning about it. I got accused many years ago of something, yes, I didn't do, but ultimately we went to court and got charged, and do you know what? Yes, I had to live with that for a while. Even when I came and made my debut, thankfully, people would would shout things at you, and you had to take whatever came your way. It's stuff that I don't really talk about as much now because it's gone. However, it does. Had I not played football and had I had to go for a job interview, this would have stuck around for quite a while, and it would have been difficult. And Manchester City, being the force they are, thankfully with the money and management they've got, they can move forward and still compete at the highest level with trophies. Sadly, for any other individual who might be charged or anything, this could be ended them, regardless of whether they're not guilty or not. And so it's very difficult for Manchester City, but I think they'll just deal with it as they have been, and go onto the pitch and produce results that they've been doing.
I think, as a City fan, you've almost felt like you've walked an unbelievable journey in winning back-to-back Premier Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups. But there's always been that kind of comment that's below the belt. It's always like, you've bought this, or there's wrongdoing behind it from other rival fans. I did see somebody post up the other day saying, UEFA missed the trick. They appointed all the best lawyers in the world to try and get City, when they really should have appointed rival fans, because they obviously know City's ins and outs financially better than those lawyers. And it's that kind of Man City humour that we all saw when we're not really here, or we never win at home, we never win away. That's still there. So within this structure of the unbelievable sense of how the club is being built, how it's progressing through the youth systems to the team on the pitch, there's still Man City humour. And I would have thought if we were in the stadium tonight, that would be evident. There would be a chant, there would be a song, there would be humour, and it would be saying, as much as you want to put us down, you got no chance. What burns in there as a blue heart will continue to burn regardless of what you say. And those boys on the pitch at the minute, we couldn't wish for anything more. The emergence of the youth, of like Cole Palmer, of Foden, Tommy Doyle, the rise of that youth coming through under the guidance of David Silva, Kevin De Bruyne. This is dreamland, and I keep putting this across to my nephews, and they know it's dreamland, but they also know now a sense of jealousy from other clubs, and it's really born out of what we're doing on the pitch.
I'm not one to kind of like boo and cheer and hold up banners and this sort of thing. I'm more of the case. I mean, I've got loads of United and Liverpool friends on Facebook, so I've been getting some stick off those guys there. Calling us cheats and all this sort of stuff. And you know what? It will have been thoroughly looked over, and like you say, we've been exonerated. So, I mean, for me personally, it's case closed. It's done. I'm happy because there was talk about losing players like De Bruyne and your Agueros and all this sort of, some of our big names. It's done in my mind. It's done now. I would just be cheering on the team, getting behind the boys. Obviously, wanted to beat Bournemouth. I mean, we do want to finish second. I mean, we are going to finish second. So I'd be cheering on the boys. How the other fans are going to react, I mean, I can only imagine. I know we've always got a bit of history with the Champions League and UEFA, so I reckon there probably will be a few banners. There would have been a few banners. There'd be a few anti-UEFA chants, all this sort of stuff. But for me personally, I'd kind of get behind the boys and just make sure we cross the line. I still think we've been playing some great football. I still think we'll beat Bournemouth. I mean, the way we've been passing the ball and moving the ball recently, like De Bruyne's looks on fire, I think we'll be maybe looking at 4 or 5-0 again tonight. That'd be my prediction.
To be honest, I think there would have been a lot of different types of banners tonight after the decision yesterday. Some might have not been allowed, but as you can imagine, we love UEFA, like better probably than anybody. But it would have been a great atmosphere tonight. Everybody would have been so upbeat. And I'm hoping the players and everybody else will be upbeat tonight and go for a big win. Come on, why not? We've done a couple of 5s, and so this is Bournemouth, and nothing against Bournemouth, but come on, I reckon we can do an 8 tonight.
Pep has been very gracious. The club have been very dignified in the way they've handled this. Are you approving of that as a City fan, despite your emotions and perhaps wanting to have let it all out at the stadium if you could have done tonight?
Yes, I mean, I'm really, really proud of the club, the way they've handled all this, and they've been fantastic with it. You know, they've not bitten everything what's been thrown at them and thrown the trolley out, you know, the dummy out, and they've not done any. They've been so realistic, and they've been so down to earth about it and quiet, and you know, they've been gentlemen, to be honest, and ladies, sorry, they're involved, but they've been absolutely fantastic, and I've been so proud of my club, the way they've acted all the way under this tremendous pressure. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, we as fans feel things, but can you imagine the pressure that these people have been under in that club? I mean, that is unbelievable. No, proud of them, 100%.
I'm Erica from San Jose, California. I'm a City supporter. I love Cheesy, and I belong to the San Francisco Supporters Club. And I really love being part of this club. It's a wonderful family, especially with Cheesy, and I'm extremely grateful. I believe that they couldn't be impacted by such an event. Kind of like sitting on the sideline, waiting for your turn to see the principal if you could be potentially in trouble. The pressure has been lifted from these individuals, and I think there'll be a tremendous amount of relief from our players today, and very excited to see what they can produce and what all of that angst and uncertainty can be, you know, can produce on the field.
So hi, Anne, I'm Kamal. I am from Assam, northeastern part of India, and I'm a huge City fan. Okay, so we have seen recently the press conference of Pep. We can see the frustration, the anger in his mind. He was speaking it all out. Whatever he had, whatever he could not speak all these days. Now that City are free, so I think the team would be quite motivated tonight. And Bournemouth, we can see they are fighting to survive the relegation, and they have the lowest clean sheet as far as I know in this season, against the team with the highest number of clean sheets, along with Liverpool, of course. So I think this should be a high-scoring game for City. I expect 4-0. Let's see what happens, and finger crossed. Let's see. I'm really excited to watch the match.
There's players playing, they know they've got big games ahead, semi-final, the Real Madrid game coming up. So these are players that will be playing, looking to make sure they're in that team or those teams.
Scoring one and setting up the other for Gabriel Jesus. Bournemouth gave it a real go at the end, and David Brooks got them a reward.
I want to say, hail David Silva. What a great player, what a quality player. Great free kick. I feel like Bournemouth are really, really unlucky, actually. I feel like Bournemouth should have probably got something out of the game. It seems like they've come really good too late, doesn't it? They're probably still going to go down. I mean, I kind of hope they don't go down, actually, because the last two games they've played, they've been fantastic against Leicester. And I thought they were pretty good against us tonight as well, actually. Arguably, they created more and better chances. And it was, I felt like a 2-2 draw might have been a bit more fair if I'm being a little bit objective. But happy to get the 3 points, obviously. I mean, David Silva, what a great player. When he gets the ball, he always seems to do this kind of little turn where he creates all this space for himself. And then he always tries to look for those little through balls, doesn't he, to play into the strikers. What a fantastic player. What a servant for Man City. I think the commentators were saying we bought him for 30 million and what a great return it was. And he was the standout player tonight. I'm not sure who got man of the match. I haven't looked who's got man of the match. But it's probably going to be David Silva, I would have thought. But no, just happy to get the 3 points, I think. Personally, I thought it was a penalty. I mean, obviously, we're City fans and we've got the rivalry with Man United. I thought the Fernandes penalty was never a penalty in a million years. I was watching that with my brother-in-laws and we were both at the TV like, that's never a penalty. I mean, they may just get on with the game. It's not a penalty. And then they gave it. I was just like, I could not believe it, that the Fernandes penalty. I don't know what your thoughts are on it. I never thought that was a penalty in a million years. And I actually thought ours was a penalty. I'm really biased, but I thought ours was a penalty tonight. because the player slides in, and it does look like Jesus stands, but that he was getting ready to plant his foot on to take the shot, and I thought the defender obstructed it. I thought the defender got in the way of it. I kind of came through the play. So I personally thought it was a penalty. I can see why people thought maybe not. The offside was close, wasn't it? For Bournemouth, that was another close one, where there was, the strike was offside by a toenail, whatever it was, but that's what it's for the offside. Bit disappointed with the penalty, but I guess that's the way it goes.
Oh, my word. Typical City here. But to be honest, I've got to give it to Bournemouth. I thought they were the better team over the 90 minutes. And I don't know, we just lost our way a bit. You could tell who was fighting for their lives, to be honest. They did play well. But I watched them the other day, and I thought, they're quite a good team, these, when they get together. Some of the substitutions, I was a bit City substitutions, especially Garcia at right back. I don't think he fitted there, to be honest. But in all, I think it was just a job done. It wasn't outstanding. It wasn't like the 5-0s. It was some hard work for the players, and in a way that can be a good thing, because I think it can wake them up a little bit, a few of the players, because I don't think they were all on it. Right?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought Bournemouth gave them a better game than most teams that came to the Etihad. They carved them open at times, especially at the back. Balls over the top, some little balls through. Had they been clinical in their finishing, it would have been a different scoreline. And I think the reason why they're there is they haven't been as clinical in front of goal as, let's just say, Manchester City. But I thought they were very, very good, to be honest. Bournemouth, very, very good.
You expect to see a different looking City defence against Arsenal at the weekend?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yes. I think he's given the boys a run out. I thought Garcia didn't look as good at fullback.
Who would be Laporte's partner against Arsenal?
I think he's been looking at Garcia, to be honest. Why he didn't try Garcia earlier on in the season, I have no idea. But I do think he fancies him at centre back. I was surprised he came on, to be honest, at full back. I was very surprised. Bar that, I'm not sure. I don't think he's a big fan of Otamendi, but I do think he'll probably go with Garcia. I really do.
I was a bit disappointed, weren't you, after the 2 5-0 wins against Newcastle and Brighton? I thought we might have been a little bit stronger than we were. You can understand why, can't you? Obviously, with the big game on Saturday night, but we didn't quite get as, I don't know, dominant as we were in the other two games, did we? So,
but it doesn't worry you going into the Arsenal game, does it? Because he'll make changes and they'll have a whole different level of motivation for that game, won't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And there is an A-team. I think we all know what the A-team is, isn't it? Laporte is in the A-team. De Bruyne is in the A-team. Sterling's in the A-team. So, yeah, we know what the strongest team is going to be for City, probably against Arsenal, against Madrid. I would think.
So who's the partner for Laporte then?
Well, I think it's Garcia now. I really do think Garcia has pushed himself in ahead of the other two now. So I think Garcia will probably be there with Laporte on Saturday. I think Laporte is so dominant, though. I really do. I think he's as dominant as Van Dijk is for Liverpool when he plays for City. So I think we will play the A-team, and Arsenal won't get as many chances as Bournemouth have had tonight.
So yeah, he's in incredible top form since we came back from the lockdown. He's in incredible top form and play another exceptional game and score again 2 times in a row. A fantastic goal.
I was just wondering, have you considered asking David Silva to stay a bit longer beyond this season? And if you haven't, would you think about asking him to stay?
He decided to leave. He said many times. So once we decide to leave, and I think he want to finish after 10 seasons here. Hopefully he came back to make a farewell game for him, more than deservedly. And he can find the place for the last years of his career.
David Silva, perhaps the difference between the two teams. He was my man of the match. Great goal. I wonder if that's the last time we'll see him play at the Etihad Stadium. There's no guarantee he'll play against Norwich. And obviously there's the Real Madrid game as well in the Champions League when he could bow out. But whatever, what a player he has been. City then now in the semi-finals on Saturday of the FA Cup. I will, of course, do a matchday vlog around that game. In the meantime, I have the rest of your week enjoying being a Blue, because it's always great to be a Blue, isn't it? Big shout out to the 3 companies that have supported the products that I put out under the Forever Blue title throughout the year, the podcast and the vlogs. See you all soon.